Volcanic eruption. Let's kick things off with a timeless classic, the volcanic eruption. But wait, we're not referring to the old baking soda and vinegar experiment your grandpa showed you. Today we're taking it to the next level. For this experiment, you'll need a large glass jar, some warm water, vegetable oil, food coloring, and some fizzy soap tablets, the ones that make your bath all bubbly and fun. To begin, fill the jar about a quarter full with warm water. Then add a layer of vegetable oil until it's almost full. You'll see the oil float on top of the water because, well, oil and water just don't mix. Next, put in a few drops of food coloring and watch as they sink through the oil in perfect little spheres like a lava lamp, but way cooler because you're making it yourself. Finally, break a fizzy tablet into a few pieces and drop them into the solution. You'll notice that as they sink and start dissolving in the water, they'll create bubbles of colored water that rise through the oil. That's it. You've just created a volcanic eruption, minus the whole run for your lives part. Now, how did this happen, you might wonder? Well, this visual spectacle occurs because the water-based food coloring is denser than oil, and their different molecular polarities prevent them from mixing. But the real magic happens when you introduce fizzy tablets to the solution. This is because these tablets contain sodium bicarbonate and citric acid, which make them react vigorously when they hit the water layer. The resulting carbon dioxide gas forms bubbles that are less dense than both the water and oil. So as these bubbles rise to the surface, they carry the colored water with them, creating a mesmerizing eruption effect. Interestingly, this process mimics the mechanisms of actual volcanic eruptions, where expanding gas bubbles drive magma upward. So yeah, it's a real volcano. Invisible ink message. Let's move on to our second experiment, the invisible ink message. If you want to be a spy, this one's perfect for you. And the best part? The secret ingredient is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. It's easy. Grab a lemon, a cotton swab, a piece of white paper, and a lamp. Then squeeze some lemon juice into a bowl and dip your cotton swab in it. Now, start thinking about the secret message you want to send and write it on the paper. Once you're done, let it dry completely. It'll look like nothing's there, but don't worry, your words haven't vanished. If you're in doubt, let's go ahead and reveal your hidden message. Get the paper and carefully hold it near the warm light bulb. As the paper heats up, the lemon juice will oxidize and turn brown, making your secret message pop out. Who would have thought lemons could be so sneaky? It's not magic. Let me explain. Revealing your secret message occurs through a process similar to caramelizing sugar or toasting bread. By carefully heating the paper, you trigger an oxidation reaction. The heat causes the carbon compounds to break down and form new brown-colored compounds, making your message magically appear. This method of using heat to reveal hidden information dates back to historical espionage. While modern spies now employ more advanced techniques, the principle remains relevant today, particularly in security features for items such as event tickets and receipts. Fire-resistant balloons? Speaking of heat, for our third experiment, let's turn up the heat with some fire-resistant balloons. For this, you'll need 2 balloons, some water, and a candle. First, blow up one balloon and tie it off. Then fill the other balloon with water before blowing it up the rest of the way with air and tying it off. Now, light your candle and carefully hold the air-filled balloon over the flame. Pop! It'll burst faster than the speed of light. But here's where it gets cool. Hold the water-filled balloon over the flame. Instead of popping, it'll just get sooty. Crazy, right? Again, it's not magic. It's the remarkable heat-absorbing properties of water. When we hold an air-filled balloon over a flame, it quickly pops as the heat weakens the rubber and increases the air pressure inside. Interestingly, a water-filled balloon shows surprising resilience when exposed to the same flame. This is due to water's high specific heat capacity, its ability to absorb a significant amount of heat energy before its temperature rises substantially. So the water inside the balloon acts as a heat sink, absorbing the energy from the flame and protecting the balloon from popping. But how does this apply to real life? Well, this principle is used in various fields, from firefighting techniques to cooling systems in nuclear power plants, and even in your car's radiator. Water's high specific heat capacity is also crucial for life on Earth, helping to regulate temperatures in our bodies and our environment. Fire tornado. We saw how to make a volcano earlier. Now, let's make a tornado. For this, find a rotating tray, a wire mesh wastebasket, and a small amount of acetone. Then, arrange them on a fire-resistant surface. Next, position the rotating tray on top of the fire-resistant surface. Then, place the wire mesh wastebasket on it. It will act as a cylindrical cage for the fire, containing the flames, while also helping to shape the air currents that will form the vortex. Moving on, carefully pour a small amount of acetone, about a quarter cup, into a small fire-safe container, which would then be placed in the center of the wire mesh basket. Now you don't have to worry. Acetone has a fuel source that has clean burning properties and a relatively low flame temperature compared to other fuels. So light it up, then spin and spin, and voila, your very own tornado. Now some say it's part science and part sorcery, but I can explain. As you spin the platform, you're creating a vortex in the air above it. The fire heats the air, causing it to rise rapidly. As this hot air rises, it gets replaced by cooler air rushing in from the sides, which gets sucked into the spinning vortex. The flame then follows this airflow, creating the tornado effect. Interestingly, fire tornadoes can occur naturally during wildfires, and they're as terrifying as they sound. They can reach up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and clock wind speeds of over 100 miles per hour. And although your little tabletop version is way safer, it demonstrates the same principles. If all this science stuff sounds like something you want to try, or if you're just looking to change or advance your careers, you might want to consider our partner for today, Course Careers. Are you looking to change or advance your career seamlessly? Sign up with Course Careers today. It features courses in IT, accounting, data analytics, software development, and more. Taught by experts in each respective field. No degree required. They also assist with job hunting to help you land the best positions. Simply click on the link in the description to get started today. The best part, they offer free mini courses to help you determine if the career and course are the right fit for you. Now let's get back to the experiments. DIY microscope. Ever wanted a personal laser microscope? Then I got you. All you need is a laser pointer, a drop of water, and your smartphone camera. Now place the water drop on your phone's camera lens. Then shine the laser through it. Suddenly, your phone's become a microscope. Pointed at, well, anything really. Skin cells, plant leaves, anything. Now before you assume this is fake, let me show you how it actually works. The whole point of the experiment is to turn your phone camera into a high-powered lens. The water droplet acts as a liquid lens, bending light rays and magnifying the image. And the laser provides a concentrated light source, illuminating your tiny subjects. The physics behind this involves some fancy terms like refraction and focal length, but essentially we're creating a simple magnifying glass. The curved surface of the water droplet bends light rays, making the image appear larger when it reaches your phone's camera sensor. But this isn't just a cool hack. It demonstrates principles used in real microscopy. For instance, water immersion lenses in high-power microscopes use a similar principle to increase magnification and resolution. And laser illumination? That's the basis for confocal microscopy, a technique used in biological research. Now in the real world, similar DIY microscopy techniques are being used in developing countries for cheap, portable medical diagnostics. Also, researchers have created smartphone attachments that can detect parasites in blood samples or identify potentially harmful microbes in water supplies. It's no doubt a perfect example of how simple scientific principles can be applied to solve real-world problems. Edible water bubbles. Feeling hungry after all that science? Let's make some edible water bubbles for our final experiment. For this, you'll need water, calcium lactate, and sodium alginate. Now these might sound like fancy science words, but they're actually natural ingredients derived from seaweed and milk. To begin, mix a gram of calcium lactate with 5 grams of sugar in a bowl of water. In another bowl, mix 1 gram of sodium alginate with 1 cup of water. Using a spoon, carefully drop spoonfuls of your calcium mixture into the sodium alginate water. Without trying, the drops will form into perfect little spheres. After about 3 minutes, scoop them out with a slotted spoon and rinse them in clean water. That's it! You've got yourself some edible water bubbles. Pop them in your mouth for a burst of water or simply play with them. By dropping a mixture of calcium lactate and water into a sodium alginate solution, you'll trigger a process called ionic gelation, where the calcium ions react with the alginate molecules to form a gel-like membrane around each droplet. Fun fact, this experiment introduces us to the fascinating world of spherification, a technique used in modern cuisine to create liquid-filled spheres resembling caviar. Interestingly, beyond its culinary applications, this spherification technique holds promise in the medical field. In fact, researchers are exploring ways to use similar processes for encapsulating drugs or even living cells, potentially revolutionizing drug delivery methods and cell transplantation techniques. So there you have it, the craziest science experiments you can do at home. Which would you try first? Remember, science isn't just about lab coats and intimidating equipment. It's about curiosity, creativity, and the willingness to keep an open mind. Who knows, maybe your crazy home experiment will lead to the next big scientific breakthrough. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, go forth and science responsibly.